Well, it's fine.
Hello, and welcome to the Solstice edition of the Earth Nouveau Hub. Good morning, everyone. And I think I just wanted to start today on this we're almost at the longest day of the year. It's a Red Dragon Day in the galactic calendar today, one of my favorite days. And we're, ramping up to the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, the southern solstice, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. And the apex of the solstice happens at 7:27 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow evening. So we're in, not quite in the 24-hour window, but certainly in that window where we're feeling the effects of the energy. So I just like to take a deep breath for a moment and do a little invocation. Today, I'd like to invite in the directions. So I invite in the direction of the east, the energy of the elemental dragons, the energy of new beginnings, the element of air that blows through. I ask you to blow through our lives, cleansing and releasing what we need to cleanse. And I invite in the energy of the south, the element of fire, the phoenix and the butterfly, the future generations. May the fire burn away all that doesn't serve our greatest good and the greatest good of Earth. I invite in the direction of the west, the water, the oceans, the dolphins, the whales, the fish, the mer people, the energy of the dream time. Water, water, flow and wash away anything that doesn't serve our greatest good. And I invite in the energy of the north, the element of earth. I invite in the ancestors. I invite in the turtle and the bear. Please hold space for us on this high, holy energy. Help us be grounded and anchored. And I invite in the energy of the below, Earth Mother, the spirit animals, our friends in the hollow inner earth. Please hold space for us, for our greatest good, Earth's greatest good, and the greatest good of all. And I invite in the energy of the above, our star ancestors, our star friends, the energy of the element of ether, the element of metal. Flow through us, shining your starlight and sunlight upon us. And I call in the energy of the center, the energy of each one of us here in this Zoom today. And as we open up to our own centers, let us be grounded and present. And I'm grateful this is done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So I also wrote a little something that I can just read to kick off. So entering the longest night of the year, I have been reflecting on my shadows, loving them and embracing them, those parts of me that have turned away from the light. I ask them to stand before me in all their pain, shame, blame, guilt, and frustration, and I embrace them with open arms, feeling all the feelings and letting them go into the loving arms of Earth Mother. I invite them to turn towards the light, sparkling, brilliant light of my source code, and integrating all the parts of me to shine my light into the darkness. And now I invite my purest source light to ground, to anchor into the heart of Earth Mother as a collaborator with her divine intentions, leveling up to her newest frequencies. And I add prayers for peace, love, harmony, joy, transmutation, abundance, health, and enlightenment to ripple through Gaia on these holy days. As the dross burns away with the fire of spirit, I stand unified as me. And so it is.
So it is.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Golly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So just some of the things I've been thinking about on this solstice. So
Yes. Beautiful.
yeah, so Herminia, do you want to share what you were saying before?
Oh, I planning to do my fires tomorrow, and I'm going to do the fetus in the mother wounds, the prayer that Laura Massey sharing the it's in YouTube too. I went to the transcript and I look at it and then I just write it down, with my own hands. And then just I going to go review it and whatever I want to change it to specific for myself. I just going to like a rewriting again and then get the stronger area where I feel like I need some more like a grounding for me. And I'm going to say in front of the fires and I can do some offering, like incense. I have some poppers and I have, I put sometimes cinnamons, different stuff. And I have like the orange skin dry too. And then I'll put it before that. I think I'm going to do the 20 21s, the winter solstice fire that Andrew has. It's like a half hour, but it's very good because it's helping me to put in my position to center myself. And then I'm going to do the invocation, the prayer from Laura. I'm going to adapt it to my own need. And then I'll see if I can do like at least 2 hour fire for tomorrow.
Mhm. Sounds wonderful. Do you do that in the evening?
Yeah, usually around, well, now 4:30 is already dark. I think I'm going to start around that time. And then I'll be able to do some prayers and I have my drums and I have the flu. Whatever I feel I can do in the moment, I'll do that. And I'll do some light language too. It's like
Right.
just shaking all the this, shaking all the challenge that I have been presenting this year and just like give it away, let it go. Because having a very challenging year in my own experience. And then I'm looking forward to see if I can shut it off from me and then become next year with different approach. But definitely that's one of my goal is that for tomorrow.
Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a tough year for everyone, myself included. We've all gone through trials and tests.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
Alfredo, it's like no, don't go. Stay here with me.
Hermania, I love all the things that you said you're going to bring to your fire. Like I always, I'm going to do a solstice fire tomorrow as well.
Oh,
And
good.
like I always do sage and Palo Santo dust as offerings.
Mhm.
But I've grown to now, like I've got 7 things that I present as offerings for the 7 directions. So I've got like
Oh,
rose hips, orange peels, dandelions, um, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but now I have like a little offering for each of the 7 directions, and I love it.
oh. And then the lion, do you have the leaf or the root? What the
Dandelion, I have dried flowers from the dandelions
Oh,
that grow in my yard, and then Tanya showed us maybe at the equinox that she makes these little bundles of sticks where she puts her prayers into like
oh,
this bundle of sticks, and then she offers it, and so I've done that too.
oh,
So
Awesome.
wow.
I'm ready for my solstice fire. This one's going to be even more potent than my fires usually are, and I love it.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Oh, that's a good idea. Remind me the one that Tanya shared. I gotta do one today.
Well,
Oh,
it's interesting. I was looking up, Jen, I love that the different directions and element for each direction. I think that's really, really cool. I was looking up like some of the solstice celebrations from around the world. And one of the celebrations is from the Hopi Indians. It's called Soyal, and it's the winter solstice celebration of the Hopi Indians. And ceremonies and rituals include purification, dancing, sometimes gift giving. And then the Hopi also welcome in the Kachinas, the protective spirits from the mountains. And they also craft prayer sticks for various blessings and other rituals throughout the year. So I thought that was really interesting, and just wanted to share. I took cuttings from my Christmas tree, right? And I'll do sort of more of that, over the holiday, but making little prayer bundles with the actual, fronds from, or branches from the Christmas tree.
And you keep it in the Christmas trees until for using later, or you can use it tomorrow?
I'm probably going to use it later.
Mm.
Yeah, to sort of create momentum, right, for
Good.
further in the year. So, things that were like all of the prayer bundles that I made around the equinox, I burned right at the end of the last, I can't remember when it was, but it seemed like the right day to do it, right? To release the stuff that had gone on, through the year, and sort of try to come out, cleaner right at this time of year. So
Yeah. Jen, could you explain a little more about the 7 directions that you use for each one? Do you use different offer?
Yeah, I do. I do, of course, the 4 directions: north, south, east, west, and then I give honoring to like the ancestors before us and the rising sun and the ancestors coming after us, things like that. Like I go around, and then I do the below, the above, and within. And that's my 7 directions. And so I do one offering to each one, and I do like a little bit on the ground in that direction, and then a little bit into the fire pit, to mark the directions, and then like to place them in the fire pit. And I was gonna light mine. I was gonna build it earlier, because I like being able to walk around it when there's still a little bit of daylight, and I like the energy of the day. And then I was gonna light it at sundown. Because the solstice is like the longest. Well, it is when the days start to get longer again. You get more light, and so I wanted to do it right at the transition of light to dark.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And I like using ones that have like the sage and the Palo Santo and the rose hips have scent to them, right? So when you light them, like you get that aroma that comes up through the fire.
Oh, yes, very nice. I put it like a stick of Palo Santo on the top of one. I have one light candle in the house, and I put it next to just to get like a kind of little the burning was not completely burning, just to get a heat. And when I realized, look out, and it's burned the whole scene. That's, oh my God. I went inside of the candle, and then it just burned the whole stick. And oh my goodness. And good thing I was here close by, because I put it just, like in the edge, just to get a little heat from the candle, and then the smell. But for some reason, I think I put it too close to the flame, and then it just burned off the whole scene. I was like, oh my goodness, that was too much. Well,
I know you needed a good cleaning,
Nice.
and so I know that for you. I like to put a drop of Palo Santo essential oil in like a plain candle or a vanilla candle when it's burning, because it smells amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about banana. That would be good. A very good combination.
It smells delicious.
I was gifted a candle that was cedar and cardamom. And my friend's like, oh, I don't like cardamom. I'm allergic to it. Do you want these candles? I said, yeah. So I've been lighting them every day and say, saying a prayer, and they smell so good. They smell like, that really holiday smell, sort of like the pine in the house.
Mm. Yeah, there are lot of those candle now. The combination. Franklin say everything they put it everything now on those things. Sometimes when I go to those store, they have it here in some area, like in TG Maxx, Marshall. They have those area. They have all those kind combination for the smell. It's very good that they bring that now. Different generation, different awareness, different tools.
Exactly. I have a friend who has a solstice party every year, and she puts different color candles that each person can come in and light and say a prayer for themselves. And so there's like green for healing, red for passion, white for light and purity. She has a couple other colors that she uses also, but I thought that's a nice thing to do, for a party where everyone can light a candle and set an intention for the coming back into the light.
That's very nice because everybody put in the intention. That's mean you create like a whole bubble of connection,
Mhm.
and it's make it stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always more powerful to do those ritual things together.
Yeah. I got one candle the other day was sage and I think sage and rosemary together. So, oh wow, that's very unique.
Mhm,
We have
mhm.
to find that kind combination.
Yeah, when I do the fires too, I use different herbs. I have a nice herb garden, so I have, rosemary and chives, oregano, sage. But I also picked some bay leaves last spring from a hike that I went on. There's a lot of native bay trees in California. And so burning the bay also, although I've never associated with them, the different herbs and such with the directions. I like that idea a lot.
The coursing in California, you find lots sage, like the wild sage. That's a lot huge.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
bunch of those. Oh wow! I was amazed when I saw it in North California.
Mhm.
My
Yeah, it smells so good. You can drive around, and when it's hot out, it just sort of like works like a sauna for the sage, and it magnifies the fragrance. It's really nice.
And the eucalyptus in California, in San Francisco, in the street, there are so many trees, eucalyptus trees. I was, oh wow, it's amazing. You can do your oil or your infusion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's funny, that the city is an interesting place, and someone posted a photo of San Francisco, and if you look at a photo of San Francisco, you can see a huge swatch of green, which is Golden Gate Park, right, which was commissioned and built in the late 1800s by Mayor Sutro, and he did a lot of infrastructure in the city. But what I thought was really funny was someone posted that on like San Francisco photography or something, and AI had to fact check it because there was so much green in the city. The AI bot that fact checks the photos for real said, "This can't be real."
Oh wow!
Boy, were they wrong.
Goodness. Yeah, because inspection that you guys like a very busy city and there's a lot of building and stuff, but the greenness and the beauty of the trees in the street is like wow, amazing. Yeah, I love the San Francisco too.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be. Yeah.
Well, in your experience living there for how many years, Tana, that what you can feel between the energy in San Francisco and the other side? For example, when I went to Manchester, completely different world. However, San Francisco had like this mix of a busy city.
San
And then at the
Francisco
same time,
is really busy. Right. I mean, it's a city. It has, you know, the geometric alignments in certain places that, you know, try to draw you into, lull you back into sleepfulness, I guess is the best way to describe that. But the energy is always moving. You know, it's a peninsula, and then the ocean washes into the bay, right, and washes back out with the tides. And so when that happens, you have all these little different swirling vortices, right, that come in one way and then go out the other way, right? So the energy is always moving and changing because of that. But also then within the city on the land itself, there's a number of different energy vortexes and portals that, you know, are continually moving. And so it's like if you're not grounded, it's gonna, you know, chew you up and spit you out, because you can't ride those energies all the time. It's just too much.
it's like in some way, like coming this energy and then counterclockwise. The other one like a refining and like spread it and take it out, something like that, like a sweep it out.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, to me, the clockwise spiral is always a creational spiral, and the counterclockwise spiral is a decreational spiral. So you know, if you look like in the middle of the city, like the photo I had on last week of the Twin Peaks, that northern peak is the center of San Francisco. And there's two energy portals, really. One is a creational portal that goes around the whole edge of the peninsula. And then the second one in the center is a decreational portal. So you have these two interesting energies, you know, always flowing and always working. Yeah. Makes it interesting. Like living on a surfboard.
Yeah, it's like making you think about it. Because sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you weren't finished. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I remember, I tried to remember the feeling that I had when I was visiting San Francisco, and it was at the end of, so I did the Route 66 trip from Chicago through the US, and then we arrived in Santa Monica Pier. And we then decided, because we had friends visiting in that we could visit in, to take the Big Sur and then drive up to San Francisco. And that was our final station. And now that you were speaking of San Francisco being so green, I was totally amazed at how green Chicago actually is as well. I mean, not the big center with the big, you know, with the high rises, but, you know, immediately, just like the suburbs, immediately just next to it. It's like this quaint little village, honestly. Yeah. And I felt so safe and so like, oh, well, you know, it's just cute here. It's cute town, you know, this is Chicago, what? And driving through the US, I absolutely adored it. I adored all the Missouri and Oklahoma and all the cowboy countries, let's say, states. And yeah, for sure, New Mexico was just amazing. And then arriving in LA, I did not like LA. So the center of LA, I did not like, but Santa Monica, that was like, that vibe was just totally okay. And I had the same vibe coming to San Francisco. The Big Sur, the drive up, I did not appreciate so much. I have no idea. It was kind of weird driving up there. But we saw the sea lions, like these huge, big creatures lying on the beach there, like, this is my beach, you know. You have nothing to do here. I found that just wonderful. And then San Francisco, yes, was just I really loved the city, and also the feelings that I had there, the vibration and the energy. And I get what you mean by, you know, this the currents coming through, because in Cabo Verde, because I live on the island, and we have the islands that are under the wind and above the wind, and I'm on the island that is under the wind. So we noticed that this sea changing, and these different energies that are coming, and part of the year are coming from the east, and another part of the year they are coming from the west. It's just kind of really interesting to witness.
Is that right on one of the trade wind routes?
You see, it's I do. If you have Africa in front of you, do you more or less know where? So there is Morocco, and then underneath Morocco is Senegal. And Senegal has this little cape that goes to the west, and that is the Cape Verde. But then the islands of Cape Verde are just off the coast of that cap, so that's why they are called the islands of Cabo Verde. And they are they are 9 islands, and you have 4 above, and then 3 or 4 and a half below. So those are up on the wind, and the other ones below on the wind.
Cool. Yeah, being on an island, that ocean is always moving, always ebbing and flowing around. Yeah. So lots of energy changing.
But you know, now that you mentioned all that takeaway, Sandrine and you, Tanya, it's fascinating to me how we live so different level of reality. Like some people that doesn't know about anything of this stuff that we're talking about it, and they live like a normal life, and we're trying to figure out how to survive, and then a different level of consciousness. And it's like everybody just convoluted together, but everybody in their own different way and their own different perception. It's like, for me, like really this like a level of different awareness in this matrix. And then how unique, because we have the agreement, the social agreement of the time zone, right? Like Andrew mentioned. And then it's like everybody in their own bubble of reality and living their own beliefs. And they are, you know, their belief system that they create, the belief system that we have grown up, the society that we're living in, the culture, is so much stuff. And then we are immersed in those experience, and like everyone in their own unique way. It's like for me, it's like a blown mind myself sometimes when I see how many people spend their life like in a specific area, that's what they believe and what they have created for their experience is so different from one section to another one. For example, like something talking about the area in United States. You're going from one state to the another one. It's completely different history, completely different environment, how the people behave, what the people eat, you know, what people do to enjoy life is so huge. Because I remember I was driving from Nevada all the way to Miami. Every time I go to different state was like a completely different world. Completely different world.
Yep.
And I don't know at all, because Alfredo, you are in Texas, right?
Yeah, Georgetown, Texas.
Yeah,
which is a completely different bubble of reality compared to Austin, Texas. You know,
exactly.
I freaking love it over here. It's 9-day difference. People like the city life is just so like city. Everybody's like, stick to my, you know, I'm just staying in my mind. That's all I'm doing. And then like in Georgetown, people are actually like confronting me. They want to have a conversation. They want to talk with me. It's just like such. I'm not used to it. I'm so used to everybody just being in their mind in the city life. You know, over here everybody's more open, more. I don't know. Yeah, totally different bubble. I love it over here.
Yeah.
And I feel more in tune with nature. Like I was losing that just living in Austin. I didn't even realize it because you get caught up in one bubble of reality for so long. That's all you know. And it's like there's just so many other bubbles, and yeah, it can be hard for. It was hard for me to see, or maybe other people to see. Just like you got to step out of it for a second. Like, whoa, like this is the way I'm supposed to feel naturally. I'm not supposed to be feeling all anxious and erratic and mind racing all the time. You know, I think someone was going to say something.
Yeah, no, it's just imagine then that you're living in a small country in the middle of Europe, and you just have to walk out of the house, and you walk up the hill, then you are in France, and you walk down the hill, you can be in Belgium, and then you walk back to your home, you're back in Luxembourg, you see? And they eat differently in Belgium, they eat differently in French, and they eat differently in Luxembourg, you see? So
Yeah.
and you have that all in one, you know?
A bunch of bubbles of reality in one bowl. I put it that name. I baptized in that experience with my city. What is my city? What's in your city? What's everybody has different city and live life in different way. How was put in the city? That's the way the life I can experience. And then when I go into places that everything looks so different, you're looking around, and like my mindset, this is for real, and this is like a shock in a moment, trying to ground myself in the area. And that's why they say sometimes, wherever you go, just do what people do, to be able to navigate it around. Because I cannot come in with my experience to other people that doesn't have my experience. I had just to jump and be involved in their experience, not mine. It's so fascinating, crazy.
Well, I mean, that's the trick, right? To hold your space, right? Grounding your light, anchoring who you are, letting that flow out like a pebble in the pond, and also being able to meet people where they are, but continue to hold space for yourself, even though people might not be able to understand how to meet you where you are, because you have a different level of awareness and a different level of awakenedness.
Yes, exactly. All of that. It's respecting my frequency first and foremost, and making sure other people's frequencies don't override my own. Because even like when I was shopping at HEB, like I could feel the pressure of people trying to influence me. Like, it's like, are you sure you don't want a cart? Are you sure you don't want? It's like I can carry this stuff myself. You know, I lift heavy stuff all the time. It's like, oh, but you look, just like people, it's like staying true to myself despite all the influence or things around. It's like. But everything you said, Tanya, yes.
Well, I think too, don't forget to ask for help when you need it. That's a lesson for me, certainly, where I want to do everything myself because I hold my own energy within that. But, I have to remember that it's important to let other people collaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It can be a challenge because sometimes we say, "Well, I can do it," then we burn out ourselves because we are in the smooth mood oh, I can control it, I can do it. No, we cannot control anything. We can do whatever we can do in the moment. And I think that's the big challenge, to be able to navigate with whatever awareness that I'm looking to for myself, for my own growth, and then be able to go to other places and with other people and go in their level without trying to show up my level. I think that's the big challenge. It's not how much I know. It's not how much I can survive with what I know in my surrounding where I am. That's the way I experience myself, like analyze myself. Because it's not how much I know about this world and how much this world functioning. Is like how much I can be stable and knowing what I know and behave like a normal, just like everybody else. Because I think that's where the big challenge. Sometimes people have some knowledge and they want everybody around them to see with the same glasses that they have on. If I have my glasses blue, I cannot pretend somebody else that had a pink one look in my blue with my blue eye glasses, because I have to put in my position to share without forcing anybody to look through what I believe or what I practice. That's the big challenge for me that I have seen in life, and be comfortable with myself, not trying to influence anybody, leave everybody their own life experience. I think that's one of the big challenges.
So, hi everybody.
Hi, Lana.
Hey, Lana.
I want to make a comment on asking people for help. And Tanya, you mentioned asking people for help, and I'm remembering a few days ago I was in the supermarket, and you know how they stack the shelves, and then on the top shelf, you can, if you're not a tall person, you can hardly reach the stuff that's on the top shelf. So I was looking for a box of a particular style of crackers, and I saw it, and it was on the very top shelf. And I'm not a very tall person, so I'm like thinking to myself now, well, how the heck am I going to get the cracker down from the top shelf? And I'm looking around me, so I'm always, whenever I'm in a situation like that, I'm always looking around me to see if I'll find a worker or somebody tall that's in the aisle or something like that. Yeah, like you. So I look around me and I saw like everyone was about, there were like 4 people in the aisle next to me, and I'm like, okay, we're all about the same height. But then I saw this elderly couple right next to me with a card, this elderly man and his wife. And I'm like thinking to myself, shucks, should I ask this elderly gentleman to grab the cracker from the top shelf for me? He might reach it. So I'm like, I got to think twice about this. What if the man hurts himself? And then, his wife is not going to be very happy because they're quite up in years, So anyway, I did ask him, and, he was able to get the cracker down from the shelf. But then I realized, you know what? It's okay to ask people for help. It doesn't matter what age they are. They are so happy to help you like right away. And that's what I find that is so delightful about asking for help. And that's why I'm never worried when I'm asking somebody for help, because I always find that they're more than helpful, and they're so happy, and I think that they feel so wonderful after they're done, that they actually help somebody today do something that person is not able to do. I'm capable of getting everything I need off the shelf, but when it comes to the top shelf and I can't reach the stuff, I'm not going to climb on the shelf to get to the top one, and then everything falls on top of me, and then there's a big crash in the store. So yeah, but that's a very wonderful thing to I mean, we should be encouraged to ask others for help, more often, because people do feel wonderful after they're done helping you.
Yeah.
Couple things
Exactly.
is saying.
Go ahead.
Like I am one of those people. It's not that I don't want to ask for help. It just doesn't occur to me to ask for help, right? So I will climb the shelves. I will stand in the shopping cart to get to it, or I'll use like another box or two to like pull out. Like you just problem solver, right? But AB told me once in a session that I had with him that like, because I don't ask for help, I don't really allow other people to resolve their karma with me, right? So like, I think about that sometimes when somebody's offering help before I say, oh no, I'm good, thank you. Like allowing them to help me gives them an opportunity for karmic resolution. And to Lana's point, like, people that get older and people look at them as needing help instead of being able to give them help, asking them to do something for you and giving them that opportunity makes them feel able again and useful again. And so instead of them always being in a state of receipt, for them to be able to give is really potent for them. It makes them feel able again. So that's a great gift.
Yeah, that's what I kind of felt after I looked at him and I said, "Could you kindly help me get this box off the shelf?" And his eyes just light up right away, and he was like more than so happy to just get the box done for me. And I thanked him, and we parted ways. But like you said, Jen, I think they feel useful.
Yeah,
Any you ask them for help, and they suddenly feel so useful. And like, do you need anything else? Do you need me to get you something else off the shelf, or is that it?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that is a really great thing.
I
I love. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I love this so much because like I'm so bad about this because like it's maybe it's my ego, maybe it's my structures, but just like I don't want to ask anybody for help. No one helped me, And then when coworkers ask me like, "Fredo, you need help with that?" Immediately I get triggered. I get angry. I'm just like, "No, do I look helpless to you? I'm a strong man. I could do this myself." Just like I get triggered when people ask me for help because it's like, "What, you think I can't do it myself? You think I'm helpless?" Like I just get frustrated, but it's like I got to be more open to because people are so happy to help me. They're like, oh, they're just so like, yes, I was actually able to help Alfredo. And like, I'm so close to it. I'm just like, I'm a strong man. I could do this myself. I don't need no one's help. But like all these situations in life have like opened me up to like, I got to ask for help. Some things I can't do by myself. And at the same time, I could save a lot of energy if I ask for help because people will willingly, openly help me. They're grateful to help me. They want to help me.
yeah,
I'm still deprogramming myself from shutting people off from helping me, but like yeah, it's important to be more willing to open receive help. That's it.
I totally get what you're saying because I mean I'm that 2 meter tall woman, nearly 2 meter, and I'm strong and I do things by myself, because mostly I do things on my own and I know how to do them. But the last couple of years, last 3 years, I took the decision to live in a shared house with other people, and I kind of knew what I was going to do. But for me, it was also to use the two guys that are also living in the house to actually use them as my, no, I don't want to, it sounds weird, but as my helpers, so that I don't have to do anything in the house. I'm still looking after my apartment and we have a cleaning lady, but like hanging up the frames or like, helping me to put my beds together when I moved in. It's like, I know how to do that by myself, but I was like, I have two strong men in the house. Why not ask them for help? Could you please do that for me? Could you please help me? So, and I have to tell you, it kind of like, it relaxed me in so many ways that I actually found more time for myself out of that. It's not that they are working like crazy, not at all, don't get me wrong on that. It's just that I could actually put my mind at ease of like, okay, these things, I do not have to do that. I'm going to ask them if they could help me do that. And it, sometimes you have to ask 5 times, but takes time. Some things take time with men sometimes, but in the end it's done. And on the grocery store the other day, I was also, and in that particular one, I was buying dog food, and usually the big bags of 20 kilos, they do not put them up there on the top shelf, but they have them down. But this time I don't know who put them all up there on the top shelf, and I have this problem with my shoulder currently, and I was like, I'm not going to struggle with 20 kilos. And so I was like one of the very strong helper guys there, the ones the very cool ones. And I'm like, could you please help me? And he said, yeah, no problem. He was putting it on his head and he's like, where do you want me to bring it? I'm like,
Oh
yeah. So he could show off, so, and I was like, yeah, great.
yeah.
So funny.
Definitely, that's a very powerful thing that we mentioned now, because we have this mentality of individuality that I had to do it my own, and it's the way how the system keep us separate, and that we can be controlled. Is that's why they have the slogan, separate and then you can win the war. And it happened to me many times. Now after I get conscious about it, that very old lady told me, listen, you have to allow other people to give you, for in that way they feel the gratitude, and then they feel the joys. Because if you don't allow other people to helping you, then what's the point? And I understood that even a penny that somebody gave it to you, and you don't need a penny, you accept that penny with really grateful and gratitude, because that person release so much joy, and the goodness that that person feel inside is something that helping that person and helping you. And I have been practicing every time I catch myself trying to do it myself. For example, I went to the Home Depot here when we were moving out like almost 3 years ago, and we had some stuff in one of those big cars that we had to bring to the house. And a young man came push out to my daughter and myself, do you need help, ladies? And then I said, I was thinking about to say no, and then I catch myself, yeah, yes, please, thank you. And another man came, 3 people came to helping us to put everything in our truck, and we don't have to carry anything in our hands. And it was like, oh my God, I can't believe these people are so service. And they were so happy. It was like, and every time I do it, like somebody coming in, I hold the door for that person, and it's a ripple effect. The other person that coming behind, keep the door up for the other. And then if people laugh and everybody smile, it's completely change of the energy. And then the supermarket, anything that I see that can say, even you have beautiful night dress today, or something that can people catch attention, because we are in this like a running environment, the spirit out everything, people running around like crazy, and then just 1 second that we take to say hello to somebody with a smile, I can see the effect right away to other people in the register that we go to the cashier. I say a very good hello, and anything that I said to, for showing the gratitude for them to be there in the store, for me to be able to purchase and then pay them, and then helping me to pack my stuff. All that scene is so little. But if we understand that it's just like everybody needs another one another. And I always remember in my head that I come in with a program, I can do it myself. That to coming here to this planet, from the mother womb, you need help from many people to coming out. And to go to the grave, you need people, nobody coming out by himself, and nobody go out by himself. I think that's what the program I put in my head, to switch that program that I can do myself. And then that's the way how I can trick my program in my brain. I said, we need everybody one another, no matter how much people think about it, that I'm individual. And here in the United States, very like, don't care about my business. It's my own business, you know. But I put in myself, I switch in my program to do that. And then in the traffic, when somebody had to coming in, I allow that person to come in, other person do the same thing. It's like the ripple effect, you know. And then we have just to be aware that I'm nobody without people around me, because we are here to helping and support one another, not with a crazy program that I have to deal with my own problem, and everybody, you know. I look in myself and then reflect on myself every time I'm outside, because I'm looking for that program of I don't have to bother, or I don't have to help, or I don't need anybody to help me, because it was something impregnated in my head since I was little, a survival mode, you know.
You know, when I
love that.
when
We
I
need help on the way in and then help on the way out. Like that's so obvious, Armenia. I love that so much. You need help, like, you know, help delivery with the baby, and then help with people to cross over when, you know, they decease. Like it's help, you know, it's a full spectrum help. Like I love that. Go ahead, Lana.
yeah, so in the middle of that, Alfredo, I mean, yeah, in the middle of that is like, when you are asking someone for help, and you're an able body, you're able to do whatever is necessary, but like, for example, I couldn't reach the box of cracker on the shelf. I'm asking for help. I'm also in this at the same time, opening up a channel for friendship, and to let the other party know, hey, I'm a friendly person. You don't have to be afraid of me. You don't have to have a serious face around me. You can reciprocate. You know, I'm extending a hand of friendship to you at the same time. So that's also a nice, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But talking about smiles, there are like 3 supermarkets in the town where I live. So I've always noticed that when I go to a particular one out of the 3 of them, whenever I'm sort of entering, walking to enter the supermarket, like in the parking lot, people are coming in and out. The parking lot is very close to the entrance of the door, supermarket. People are always smiling at this one particular supermarket. And when I go to the other ones, I don't find that happening. People are more like straight face and they're about their business, they're in and out. But this one, whenever I'm going in or coming out, and if there are people there coming in or out, they're always smiling. And I'm like, I've noticed this for a very long time, and I'm always wondering what's going on with this place here versus the other 2 places. Have you guys ever noticed that with any stores you're going to?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Well, it can be the management system that they have in those places, and you know, the employees and the owners, how they treat the employees. That's going to be a ripple effect in the everybody that coming in, because remember, it's energy. We're going to perceive
Yeah.
it.
I also
Everybody-
know that this particular supermarket is the most expensive one versus the other 2. I'm like,
yeah.
there's something here. It must be the energy surrounding the spot down there where people are feeling that more pleasantness in that spot there. That's the only thing I can think of.
I say it's always the people that create the environment, because like, I don't know, you know, corporations, one thing, it's always different levels of reality, but it's always the people. The people are what make that establishment run. You know, it's like you don't have good quality people with good energy, like the energy won't be there. Like I've worked at places that feel like total utter like paid slavery. They're just treated like utter shit, and they're just like, it just from the top down, it's just like boom, 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 and then before you know it, they're dumping on all the coworkers and feel like trash. You know, it's like, but if you're like, it comes down to the people, in my opinion, and then of course the energies of the land, but. That's why it feels so important to be in a high state to just
I would like to think it's
spread
the
that love.
energy in the land down there, and I wouldn't like to think that it's because I know of some of the employees there, and I've talked with them, and they don't exactly give like the most positive feedback at times. So I'm gonna think it must be the energy, maybe outside of the place.
Can find out what, trying to find out what's in the surrounding in the area. Lana, and you know, remember, you make me remember a day in the supermarket. I was in front because there was some, I was trying to get like, you know, one of those pasta, the Italian, I was looking at the Italian brands for the marinara sauce. And then there were so many that you cannot figure out what to get. And then I was just like that, this lady, like maybe in the 90-year-old, and she looked at me and I just smiled. I said, you know, there's so many that I don't know even what to get here. I was looking for a specific one. And she said, oh, I know. Listen, this is the first, she took me to another side and said, this is the best one. I do it myself in my house. I knew that she was Italian because the way she approached me. And I do it myself in my house, but sometimes when I don't have time, I grab this one for my son. It's exactly like the one I do in my house. And we were talking maybe 10 minutes. It was just something for, she looked at me that I was like I don't know what to do in my life in that moment. And she approached me and I just said, it's so many that I don't know what to choose, you know. And she was so courage to open us with me and guiding me to what to get. And then we started talking like 10 minutes. And we're just that little simple thing. And, you know, it's like a show of vulnerability that we don't know everything. And be okay with that. I'm ignorant in many things. Well, it's okay with that because I just doing what I have to do in my moment. And for me, it took long years of suffering or that lackness of open to receive. And I became to this moment now that I understand I cannot do everything myself.
Well, and I think, you know, being open to receiving, right?
Mhm.
I remember a time where I was going to a workout class. They used to have these workout classes at SF General Hospital in their community center. And before the workout class, they were doing a cooking class. And so I got there for the workout, and I had just done a meditation where I was praying for abundance and prosperity. And so I got to this workout class, and someone said, "Here, would you like a chair?" I'm like, "I don't need a chair. I'm here to work out." Right. And then someone said, "Here, would you like some food?" "No, thanks. I'm just about to work out. I don't, want to eat anything right now." And then someone said, "Well, here, take a yoga mat. I have an extra one." And I was just getting annoyed. I'm like, why is everyone trying to give me stuff? And then I said,
Nice.
because I was asking. I was asking for
You
abundance.
forgot. And
I
you
was
forgot.
asking for prosperity. And
There you go.
my thought is like, bring on the money, right? But look at all of this abundance all around me. People are handing me things and giving me things. And all I need to do really is just say thank you. Thank you, and receive it.
Yes.
So that was a really good lesson for me, right? In being able to recognize when the universe is handing you what you ask for. You say, F yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't just come in the form of money. It comes in all forms of expression,
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm more alert with that now. Every time people offer something to me, and even I don't need, I say, yes, thank you, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, because it's like, it's a new training for me. And I do that now more. I'm more aware of that.
That's it, right? It's a new training. It's a different way of thinking about the ebb and flow of life, I think.
Yeah. It's
It's a
amazing.
retraining. It's changing from belief to the facts of life, to what is true. It's always there, but we are so blinded by the belief that we've been living in, the false belief of things, and we're missing the truth, the facts, the substance that's behind everything. And so when you were given, you prayed for abundance, the belief overshadowed you, and you couldn't see that the abundance was right there in front of you all the time.
Yeah.
Until you caught yourself and you said, oh, wait a minute, here it is. I did ask for it, and it's showing itself to me now. And I'm still saying no.
And then all of a sudden I went, aha!
I got you.
Yes, I can say yes.
I got you tricky. Oh, if you don't receive the first one I bring to you, then I don't bring anything else. It was a test for you, Tanya.
It was.
The universe was testing you. She's asking, let me see if she's really ready to receive. That's, its life is so simple, and we so complicated, trying to go in the pace of what we have been shown to us all life. It's sometimes I admire myself too. Oh wow, it's a little thing that making our lives like not feel grateful in the moment, because we want things to be the way that we believe that it has to supposed to be, and then we forget to enjoy the little moments. And I tell you that yesterday I had that experience. I had to tow in my car because I went in a hole and then something broke in the car, and the office told me, no, it had to be a specific towing company to come into the highway. And I said, oh my God, how much is that going to cost to me? I was worried about that. And then I looked the office in the eyes, and I said, officer, that will cost me too much money. And then he looked at me and he said, he was so pleased with me, because I was, like a normal person, worried about how much money I had to pay for this. And he was, don't worry about it. He called the company and he said, don't worry, you can call. And then I called them, you can put into insurance. And then he helped me to move the car from the other side of the highway. He stopped the traffic and put me on the side. And you know, those little things, and the truck driver that came was a gentleman that we were coming a conversation until he brought me to the place where I had to drop the car. And we all became like a friends. And he was talking about so many stuff. It was so so grateful driving with him that I said, and then when we went to the place to drop my car, he said, "Where do you live? I can take you to your house." I said, "Oh no, don't worry, I have somebody already coming to me." But just the way that he offered to helping me is like a completely different experience. I said to him, "You know, I'm sorry that we meet in the circumstances, but I really appreciate you and you way how you helping me and supporting me." And he stayed there until the mechanic came in and everything. It was just, you know, something very uncomfortable that happened. However, the experience I have with him, we are just in a conversation that we were friends forever. And those little things that I catch myself now, I'm more aware of. That doesn't matter what happening. It's just like the way how I accept it and how I react. Because
Armenia, you just
Mhm.
met one of your soul families.
Really, that's maybe. That's interesting. Because why he came, I have to get that car break down in the same specific area, and that police call to that
Yep.
company. It's a lot of things like now that you say.
And he stayed with you throughout the whole thing. That's your soul family. You just met a soul family of yours.
Oh, look at
At
that.
least that's the message I'm getting to tell you.
Wow, that's interesting because he texted me back to me to see if everything was okay, and I told him how much they're going to charge. He told me that's a very good price, and he was completely different. Like we met like it's true that what you said now, Lana. Now that I think about it, because I can tell you it was kind of very distressful in the moment. However, you're driving with him, you know, in the ride, it was a completely different experience. And it's like a life show us every moment that we walk around, people that are there just because we had to meet in some way and somehow, and things happen for us to be encountered in that position in that moment.
Well, cherish the moment that you met a soul family. Because you probably wouldn't run into him again. Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, wow. And then we can apply what's live in the moment.
Yeah.
And now, live in the now.
Exactly. You enjoyed it. At least you remember to retell the story, right? You treasure the moment. So now, because you treasure the moment, you are able to retell us the story and share it with all of us.
Oh, very cool, Lana. Thank you.
Well, and I think you know this goes back to what I was reading earlier, right, about bringing in the shadow parts of yourself that are standing outside of you, right? And here is this soul family member who was standing next to you outside of you, but that energy, right, that is part of the two of you that syncs together as one, right, came together in that moment to give you strength and probably to give him strength too, right, of that energetic camaraderie and collaboration.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yeah. That's makes completely sense because he shared with me picture from his daughter that she having travel all, you know, all those beautiful places that I would like to go, you know, Asia, Europe, Machu Picchu, all those places that I always look in my mind to visit it. He was sharing that with me. It was like, what? Talking about his daughter and sharing with me all the places that her daughter has been, show the picture of his daughter. It was kind of interesting now that you say now. It kind of like click in my head now. It was like a very nice experience. It was amazing.
It was probably never about your car. It was
Wow.
probably just about that meeting. I mean, you probably cleared up so much karma in your soul family, the two of you, by coming together yesterday, and so the car was just a crutch that brought you together.
Yes.
It was never
it's-
really about the car in the first place. It was about the
Uh,
two of you in the first place.
That's completely makes sense, because if you see the hole where I throw in the car, and the car just broke in one side, it's like, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Also, you know, we all want to feel good about what we do as our job and feel appreciated for what we do. And those two roles are very, particularly the police officer, very unappreciated. People can be very difficult and belligerent, and when they're in a stressful situation, they don't act out of kindness, they act out of defensiveness. And so for you to put yourself in a vulnerable but honest position, because I mean, cops get lied to all the time, right? You know, poor woe is me, but like you were just very authentic and appreciative, and you showed yourself as a real person, and you treated him like a real person. Like, you know, that left an impression on him as well, that there was no conflict. It was really just I'm in a position where I need help, will you help me? And their role is to serve, but they don't really get that in a direct way very much anymore. They serve. I mean, I work with cops all the time on the roadway because I do highway construction, and like I see what an impression that job leaves on them, and I know how much they appreciate it when somebody does treat them like a real person, and it's respectful, and they can have a real interaction with somebody.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true, Jen. That's true, because it's when I looked on his eyes, it was like a complete shift of energy, because he said, let me see if I can help you to move to the side, because it's very dangerous here. I almost get hit. I said, oh no, officer, I don't want that in my responsibility. He said, don't worry. And it was just so friendly interchange. Completely what I understand what you're saying. It was like that. It was really like that. He was there, and then over in the last minute, he said, I gotta go because there was no accident, but the truck is almost here. You have a good day. It was really very beautiful exchange.
Yeah, they see the worst of humanity. They really do. And like for him to come into contact with you, and you're just kind and genuine, and you emanate this beautiful heart motherly frequency, like what a nice balance that gave to him, and to offset some of the other stuff that he experiences.
My goodness, this is more than I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. They deal with so much BS all day, every day. That's just like, man, the least I could do is just be nice to this guy and just treat him like a human being. It's like, I don't view him as cops anymore, because like immediately my program's like, oh, he's gonna pull me over, he's trying to get me arrested. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's paranoia programs I picked up just because I had to deal with the law a lot when I was younger, because I made a lot of stupid ass mistakes, and like immediately like, oh, cops, you know, they're bad. And it's like, no, man, they're human beings, bro. Just like, I treat them real nicely. If they do pull me over, I just, nice interactions, you know, none of this.
Yeah.
They deal with BS all damn day, and I just like, man, they just get energetically dumped on, or they got to deal with energetic situations that are always real crazy, you know. So, but yeah, the least we could, or at least I could do for the cops is just be nice to them. And they always, and they usually ends up pretty good, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Because if you are in the defense, they're going to be already in their position right away.
Yeah.
And now, Jen, you make me remember one day there was something happening in the city. I don't know what was, but I saw this officer with some more involved in helping the people, and saying, I get out of my car, and my daughter looked at me like I was crazy. And I went straight to one of the officers. I said, officer, thank you so much for all the work that you do. And I really appreciate it. And that guy looked at me and said, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. You know, he was like in his face, you can feel like this release, like he was recognizing that somebody was appreciating what they were doing, because, you know, they are in the tough position that they have to be preserve everybody's life and the safety for everybody, but they don't receive that. If they make a mistake, everybody jump on them, but we don't think about it, all the good things that they're doing every day for our life, for be able to function in the normal society, right? And then it's like you said, Jan, it's some people that they are in their play, and Alfredo, you mentioned it like that. it's the position that they have to play in the game. And then when we recognize with the approach of gratitude and recognizing that they have to do their job. But if we're coming with gratitude and humanity feeling, that is make a difference
Mhm.
from human to human.
Honestly,
yeah.
they never know what they're getting into. I wouldn't do that job. I wouldn't pull somebody over. You don't know. You never know how that's going to go. So I have a
Well,
lot of
and
appreciation for people that will serve in that role because it's not an easy one to do.
well, and I think, you know, seeing the person, not the uniform, right? No
Yeah.
matter what the uniform is, you know, whether he's a garbage collector or your mailman or mail person,
Mhm.
or, you know, someone at the grocery store or whatever, right? Being able to just take a minute, right? And I think we all do this. We put on our work face, right? Where we have to behave a certain way when we're going to the office, going to the job, and allowing a release of some of that, right? And bringing back that human component of authenticity, right? Of who you really are.
I make a point to look everybody in the eye and smile at them, and like especially waitresses or waiters. And I always tip really well because I had that job when I was in college, and it was the worst job I've ever had. It was the hardest job I ever had. I was a terrible waitress, and I worked at Bob Evans, so you know, like the tips were not great. But that left such an impression on me how difficult of a job that was. That like I always tip like 30%, and I'm very nice to my servers, even if the food's late, it's not their fault. They're not the ones cooking it. You know, like they can't control how many people tying up the restaurant. So be nice to everybody. What can you possibly have done wrong if you go home at the end of the day and you were nice to everybody?
I mean, at least you feel good about you,
Mhm.
right? You did what you could, right?
Yeah.
To grease the wheel.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
My
I
my husband grew up here in San Francisco, and when we first started dating, you know, I'm from Wisconsin, right? I'm from the Midwest, and everybody says hi to everyone. So we'd be walking, and I'd say hi, what's up? Good morning. You know, and people are like, "What? Is she talking to me?" Shit. My husband says,
Yep.
You ruined me. I can't walk down the street now without talking to people." I said, well, if you know, it seems like a good change to me. You know, it's nice to know your neighbors, nice to know the people you're living around and dreaming with.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we are affecting for whatever they are feeling is affecting us too. That's what the thing that we forget about it. Yeah, so unique. Yeah, it's so much experience that we had to go through that, and then just to be able to get the wisdom from each one, right?
Right,
Because
recognizing, being aware and recognizing like what the interaction is, and you know, maybe you're just holding space, or maybe you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Well, I guess it's time to take the mask off our face.
Yeah. So
I did, Harmenia. I hardly ever wear makeup anymore.
Huh?
I hardly ever wear any makeup anymore.
Oh,
Just
okay.
maybe if I have to get really dressed up, then I'll put makeup on.
Yeah. Oh,
But I'm so happy not to have to wear it anymore.
wow, it's a completely different feeling because you
Yeah.
have to have it for depending on the job that you are, you have, you know, it's the environment that you're going to work. Some people have to use it, you know, to use it. It's depend the environment. And it's like I Jen mentioned about, because I used to work in a hotel too, in a restaurant, and I know how much hard is that job. And then when I go to the restaurant, I do the same thing. I act with gratitude and appreciation, no matter what happens, because it's not just one person. Responsibility. It's a whole team working together to serve the food to the table. Just like from my own perception, is just coming from the gratitude approach. Because no matter whatever we're going to do, we need the assistance to somebody else. I think just looking in that position, it's helping me. I think it make a completely different in my life.
Yes, don't live like a hermit.
No.
Give up the hermit position. You're not a hermit when you go to the supermarket.
No.
Ask for help if you need it.
I mean, that
Definitely.
doesn't mean you can't draw your aura in close to you, right? 12 to 18 inches away from your body. Because when your aura is really expanded out, then everybody stands up in your energy field, right? When you're in line with them. That's part of that empath, being an empath and sampling everyone's emotional energy with the wide aura. Yeah.
Oh, and that's why what you do, you just like create like a bubble or around you, or you just do like a practice cleaning for your energy field.
I mean, you can think of your aura like a balloon, right? It's expandable and contractible. When you're out meditating in the woods, blow it up 30, 40, 50 feet, right? And feel all of that nature energy. But then when you're shopping, especially at this time of the year where people have a tendency to be rushing and stressed out, right? That aura is expandable and contractible. So you can just blow it way up like a balloon, or like let the air out and keep it tight around you. And that doesn't mean you're not, holding space for other people and being grounded and being present, but you don't have to let them drag them through your energy field. Yeah.
I like that.
That's
That's been a helpful technique for me.
Sometimes I don't do it very often, but once in a while I'll see somebody and I'll deliberately ask them for help, even though I don't need the help, just to make them feel like they're doing something, that is making them feel good because they're helping someone else. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but
yes,
you kind of sense the person, and that ask them for help even though you don't need it. So that they can lift their spirits up and say, oh, I did something good for this person, even in that one single moment that they've done that thing for you.
Yeah. That's
and
very...
you thank them, and you show like such gratitude for what they've done for you, and they feel so good about themselves.
But Nana, this is so very powerful what you said now, and I don't know, maybe Tanya can expand on that one. There has to be something in a human being as a collective, the unique wire that we are interconnected one another. That has to be something that spark that light inside us when we do something for other person or somebody do something for us. And that's why they say it's more blessing in giving than receiving. And then I think it's in both ways, right? Because the person that gives receive the joy, and the person that receiving enjoy the interchange between one another. Was there?
Yes.
No, what do you think?
Yes. It's a blessing to give, and it's also a blessing to receive the abundance. The abundance and universal abundance of giving, because it's a substance that's always there. And when someone is giving, they're sharing the substance of the creator, the one mind. That's everyone's have, you know.
Uh-huh. It's
Yeah.
like me that we get inside in the glue that keep everybody together, something like that.
See, it's just
Yeah,
like the greater expression of love, you know, this whole
yeah.
helping process.
And we're talking about Sandrine, we're talking about the heart behind you. You see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I've been really meditating on this heart
That's
of
the
light
love.
right behind Sandrine.
Can you see
Right.
it,
It's like
Sandrine?
two spotlights coming together, right? And creating, like, sometimes it's looking like a butterfly and sometimes it's looking like a heart.
Mm,
But I
Yeah,
love
it looks
that.
like a pure white heart.
Mhm,
mm.
mhm. It
Maybe
does.
because we're talking so much about giving and gratitude and love
Well, you know, and that's one of
expression.
the things that is a common thread, right, between all of these solstice celebrations around the world, right? Gift giving and gift receiving. So Saturnalia was an ancient Roman festival that's probably the closest linked with the modern celebration of Christmas. But this festival happened at the time of the winter solstice, and they would celebrate, there were feasts and games and gift giving. And also the social order was inverted. And so the slaves didn't work during the festival and were briefly treated as equals, briefly, but treated as equals. So that, you know, being able to, instead of always working and giving, right, these people were able to do some receiving.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, open to receive.
Yeah. I like also the idea. So I watched this this movie last night from a few years ago called The Man Who Invented Christmas, which was about Charles Dickens and his writing of the Christmas Carol. And you know, just like looking at how Christmas wasn't even, I mean, that book came out in 1843, I believe, and Christmas wasn't really a thing, right? It was like the solstice was celebrated by bringing a tree inside and lighting candles on it. You know, and the Christmas Carol sort of was a celebration of Queen Victoria and Albert, right, at that time in the UK, had just started celebrating Christmas in a bigger way. So the Christmas that we know of today, right, is basically stems from that, from those celebrations that that Victoria and Albert had, and you know, got sort of pushed forward in the UK. And then when the Christmas Carol came out, then everyone started celebrating Christmas, you know, as a time of giving and a time of receiving and a time of sharing and love and family.
It's
So
all about the Christmas Carol in the end.
all about the Christmas Carol.
Mm.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
That's right.
La 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 la.
Mhm. Yeah. So I just thought, you know, thought it was really, really interesting, like all of these different
From the team outside that I
festivals.
talked about. All about the
Yeah.
Christmas Carol.
Mhm.
Keep on singing.
That's right. It's
Right.
about the peace on earth, and
Yeah.
joy to all mankind. Yeah.
Yalda is a Persian festival, or Shabi Yalda. It's a celebration of the winter solstice in Iran that started in ancient times and marks the last day of the Persian month of Azar. It's traditionally viewed as the victory of light over dark and
Mm.
celebrates the birthday of the sun god Mithra. So a lot of people will celebrate together with special foods, nuts, pomegranates, and some stay awake all night long to welcome the morning sun.
Oh, it's
Mm.
because it was a transition from the dark side to the light side, and it's not like you say, it's not Christianity took over from that celebration, but it was something that was all around, everywhere, in
Everywhere.
different way and different tradition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, all over the world. You know, the Festival of Lights was celebrated in Scandinavia for St. Lucia's Day.
Mhm.
And that's sort of like Scandinavia Norse tradition, and they would light fires to ward off spirits during the longest night of the year. So I love that we're talking about also like ritual fire. And girls would dress up in white gowns with red sashes and wear wreaths of candles on their head to honor St. Lucia.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder how they used to celebrate on Egypt, because Egypt is had a long history, you know, in humanity, in our present life. I wonder how they used to celebrate it there.
Well, I mean, if we look at all of there's a lot of different monuments, right? Like Newgrange and Stonehenge that will have an alignment on the winter solstice and the summer solstice, right? You'll see the light hitting a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big islands where they used to have a lot of women that have the wise women that became something else later on. But in those traditions, they had those celebrations, very unique. The harvesting time.
Yeah, and it's a celebration of late harvest, right? Where all of the food is picked and pickled or stored in some way. And now you can chill out and celebrate and feast.
Yeah.
Hibernate as well,
Mhm.
that time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I think also hitting rock bottom, right, with the light in the northern hemisphere being the longest day. It's almost like that ebb and flow of the tide, right, where the tide goes way, way out at this time of year. One of the ladies in my neighborhood said, "Oh, yeah, there's a king tide that's happening this week." So the high tide is very high, the low tide is very low. And they were going out to look at the tide pools, right, because of this low, low, low tide. And there's all of these different little creatures that phosphoresce in the tide pools. Yeah. So they were checking that out this week. Thought that's kind of cool. Although the weather hasn't been great for it. It's raining pretty hard here.
Speaking of celebration, I will leave you here, and I wish you all the best now for Christmas, and have a lot of cake. Okay, have a lot of indulge in a lot of really good food. Be with the people that you like. I'm sending you big love with the angel wings behind me. Okay. I was just like, yeah, it's really like, yeah, it's the angel. And so I leave you here. I will spend my celebrations with friends and family, so all will be good. Tomorrow I will be with my mom the whole day, so it will be a hot day. I'm very happy about that. And if we have a meeting next week, I will try to join in, and if not, then we will see each other in the new year. Okay, all the best.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sandrine.
Bye.
Bye, Sandrine. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Okay,
Christmas.
thank you.
Merry Christmas. Celebration.
So
Right.
are there other traditions or new traditions that y'all want to create this year for solstice/holiday celebrating?
Oh, not really much. I'm trying to go. So they have some area here where they have the light exhibition that, you know, they have some park, and you go some area here where they have the Christmas. They call Christmas light evening or something, like you go in different areas, and you go driving slowly and looking all the place or the houses in the town too. Has some area where they do a big celebration. And you know, the funny thing here in the town where I am, they brought I think on the 20 just the day after Thanksgiving's Day, they bring the whole they all like a parade, and then they bring the Santa to light the light in the tree, and they put him in the like in the beat left the fire department truck. It's it's so, but it's so many people in the street that it's like a you think that you are like in a big town and big city. So many people passing by, and though all this company they bring like a different from the school, dancing, and it's like for me, really, I didn't expect it something like that in this little town. However, the people really enjoying and celebrating, and you see the old people, all ages, just this face, you can see the joy that they have, the laughing, and like becoming kids. And it's something that is not real, but like I mentioned before, that I don't care much, but when I see all those celebrations that people really enjoy and just be part of that joy, it's bring me joy to me at the same time too. It's like this belief that people coming together at that moment. It was freezing, cold, freezing, but people were just enjoy it. It was a very interesting this parade, and all the school with kids dancing. I think they were Chinese. They were doing exhibition and dancing too. It was very unique thing. It was like, wow, people really still celebrating and feeling enjoy one another. It was kind of unique for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I try. We try to do that here. There is one. I mean, there's a plenty of different houses that got lights up and stuff like that. But there is one particular section where the people in that neighborhood, they go all out. They put strings of light around their yard, and they kind of join each yard's light to the next. So it's like if you're walking down the street, it's all a string of lights you're walking through, and they dress up their houses with a lot of lights and stuff like that, and whatever, all kinds of decorations. So I like to go down that neighborhood and check out their lights. It's always so pretty to look at, and different places, drive around. But the other places are more isolated, and you'll have a couple of houses here, and then you'll have a few houses that doesn't have a single light, and then it goes on like that. But this particular neighborhood, they go all out, and so that's really nice to go walk through and take a look at.
That's one of the things we always did as kids. Right, my dad would get us in the car and drive us around to see all the best lights, like where there were, the one block that just
Yeah.
goes totally all out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
got the
happened
spirit
too.
there.
Yeah, with the old new technology, they displayed little more alive, more vibrant light too. And there's some neighbors that they have like a competition. The more presenting the plate of light and the ornaments. Even the town, they receive some recognition from the town. Like the area where I am, and the mayors is very important that activity. So, oh wow, people are still looking the way how to celebrate, to enjoy life really. Even though we don't see every day, but this particular time, people really just forget about everything and they just looking for joy, celebration.
Well, and there's even that show on TV now called The Great Christmas Light Fight,
Yeah.
Oh,
where they have it's like a competition show who
Yeah.
has the best lights.
oh,
Most
really?
lights, best lights, Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that about one.
I got some solar lights this year for the front of my house, and they've been working great. Although for the last like 2 days it's been pretty gloomy and raining. But even though we weren't getting a lot of light to charge up the solar panel, the lights went on. in the rain.
Yeah.
last night.
I did the same thing too, Tanya. I bought some really cheap solar lights and I stuck them in between the other lights in the front. And it really makes a big difference, you know. And then I have this one string of lights, and I couldn't undo the string. It all got all tangled up and everything. So I just left it, you know, and pulled it, you know, lengthwise out to get as much distance as I could possibly get. And with the regular Christmas lights on, that light does not come on because it's blocking out, you know, it's the other lights are projecting too much light on the solar panel. And so it's thinking it's, you know, it's still pretty bright out. So when the regular Christmas lights go out, then this one string of solar light comes on, and I have it set of where it just like twinkles all the time. So after the rest of the lights go out, this one comes on and it twinkles for like how many hours the light of power it has, you know, and stays on. So that's kind of
fun.
nice. It continues on, yeah.
Yeah, I have mine set too. So there's different there's different settings. So there's like a solid setting, and then a pulsing setting, and then a running setting, and a twinkling. And then there's one setting that does them all. So that's how I have them. I want them all. I have them all.
That's very cool.
So just if you don't like the way it looks, just wait 20 or 30 seconds and it will change. It's kind of crazy, but it sort of matches the other lights in my neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, one of the best inventions I think that they have is the timer, you know. So since I bought a timer a few years ago, I don't have to go outside in the cold to turn the lights on or to shut it off, you know, at you know, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So that's a good thing. I like that invention, the timer. So it comes on when the place gets dark, and it goes off after, you know, 6, 8 hours, whatever I set it at.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those on my Christmas tree. So it turns on automatically at 4:20. Turns off about 10:30.
Well,
And I can manually control it, right? I can turn it on earlier,
Yeah.
turn it, you know, then just turn it off later. But yeah, it's nice, you know, I like coming out of a session or something and then going downstairs and say, oh, the Christmas tree's on, yay!
that's nice.
It's
Yeah.
you know, it's happy. It makes me happy.
Do you have the picture behind you, Tanya? That was a picture that you took from your place?
This picture I took actually on the summer solstice. I thought it would be really interesting to bring the
Oh,
energy of the summer solstice into our discussion.
it's very nice because it had the egg shape, and then it had inside, and then like a light purple in the edge.
Yeah, the flare, getting the flare, the sun flare from the summer solstice sun. So that was
Wow.
taken almost exactly on the timing of the summer solstice,
Wow, it's very beautiful.
which ironically was also a Wednesday that we Zoomed together.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I like
this year, what I was thinking about is that there's a lot of talk about separation, you know, of densities, and you hear people talk about there's going to be a separation taking place and things like that. And you know, I'm thinking about the things that are happening, or we're here of it happening. And one of the things that I've been dwelling upon is this season I shall dwell upon peace on earth. And what better way than the Christmas time, you know, to dwell on peace on earth, you know, to bring that, because that's the space I want to exist in. I want to live in that space. I don't know about you, but that's where I want to be.
I hear you there.
is seeing manifestation what I'm dreaming for our whole planet,
Yeah.
the future, peace.
It is so required, peace on earth. It's not just a word or a wish a well wish you extend to somebody, or you write it in a Christmas card and mail it, but to actually get that in your consciousness.
It's like a feeling.
And hold that and say you don't consent to anything else but peace on earth. Don't give consent to other things that are creating chaos and destruction of the planet.
That's a good way to look at it.
Peace,
it's like
peace.
It's enough all the other thing. We have enough already. We are tired of all those things. We need different paradise. Love, joy, unity, and peace.
And I think it's important to remember too that starts with us and our own hearts. And of course, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to y'all. But
that's part of the teachings we emanate,
it's part of the teachings that we emanate, right? And when we're grounded within that and that knowingness that can ripple out into our bubbles of reality, right? Then it's a continual mantra. It's a continual prayer, right? With each step you take, whether you're going on a walk, whether you're going about your day, whether you're cooking or, working or exercising or praying, just holding that space within yourself for all of that to exist co-harmoniously, within, and just talking about like the shadow, right? Looking at all of the things that we have a tendency to go, la, 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 you're not there. I don't want to see you. But look at that, dark side within yourself and celebrate it, and on this longest night of the year. And then give yourself a big hug, allow those pieces of you to integrate, to come to that place of oneness.
Exactly. I love this. I mean, me personally, I'm just so happy because, when it comes to like peace, it's like, it starts within first. And like, I'm so freaking happy because I know that I've finally culminated a ecstatic sense of joy and happiness and peace within myself, that I'm very happy because I know that I feel so freaking good, and this emanation will be coming off of me and other people will be feeling it as well. So it always comes down to doing the inner work because, yeah.
It does. It always comes down to doing the inner work.
Yeah, it's always like, because, even in like lower states, I couldn't see like the higher states of peace. But now that I created it within myself, I could feel it like, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna be feeling this peace and joy. It's, I don't know, it just makes me really happy. Like, yeah, do the work. I gotta do the work. I realized a lot of my downfalls is because I slacked on doing the work. I just want instant gratification. I just want to be gratified, and I was realizing the destruction, or not destruction, it was doing upon me, but like not even being able to connect with myself to like feel good, like truly nourishing and honoring what I really need in the moment, because that's always changing. I had to reformulate my entire doing the work process ever since I moved, because ever since I moved, I quit doing the work because I had all these other things going on, and then and I was like, why am I so depressed? Why do I feel like crap every day? Why do I feel so unhappy? It's like, because I wasn't doing the work, It's like, well, it's starting to go back to doing the work and doing the work that actually, fits my routine and my schedule, and like that works for me, like reinventing doing the work that actually fits my schedule, fits my routine, what actually, excites me the most. I gotta stop because now it's gonna run in the street. Stop.
Mm.
But yeah, for me, it's just been reinventing, doing the work, the things I actually want to do, that actually fit my schedule, that actually make me feel good and alive.
Well, and I think that's great, Alfredo. I love that because I think, going back to just thinking about like, oh, what are we going to do for this big day, for the solstice, right? But it really is about the daily practice and cultivating that, awareness and sense of self and peace and joy and grounding it and letting it ripple outwards, and creating that energy momentum to have those,
Yes.
experiences that heal and, touch our soul, touch our spirit, help us really see the light within ourselves.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
I think
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
well, with all of the celebration of densities, the separation of densities, right, and these sort of timelines that are condensing and falling away. For me, it's just really been about this whole year, really about releasing what doesn't serve my greatest good and Gaia's greatest good, and coming into a space of, just trying to hold that higher timeline for myself, right? But I don't need to hold it for Earth. She can hold it for herself. But to be on that train, right, with her, like we all are, since we're living here, incarnating, we have contracts, we have, things that we want to accomplish in conjunction with Mother Earth. So yeah, just that greater sense of awareness has been really, really good for me this year. Healing.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Really good. Awareness. Very good. Looking forward to my fire tomorrow.
Great. Fire.
So is today the solstice or tomorrow the solstice?
The solstice falls tomorrow evening
Tomorrow,
at 7:27 p.m. Pacific time,
Okay.
which is what 10:27 p.m. Eastern time.
AM, PM.
Oh, our is
And what is it, 4 or 5 in the morning London time, I think. In Egypt, it's 5:27 a.m. Yeah.
5:20.
Yeah.
It's then here in New York is at 4 o'clock then. Because it says 7 o'clock over there in your place.
7 in California. 10,
7
Yeah, that-
PM or
7:30 p.m. in California.
Okay.
10:30 p.m. in New York. So what that makes it
3 hours before.
9:30 p.m. roughly in where you are, Lana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, great. Well, thank you
Thank you.
all for joining in today.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
it
much.
was fun chat. Well, I got something I want to read for us to close with. I just saw it.
Oh,
in front-
yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Something really small. So, are we? Anybody else want to say anything before I?
No.
Okay. So I'm not
Spread
gonna
your
read the
love,
whole.
Lana.
I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just read the very tiny piece here. There is no empty place for the belief of evil to occupy. No, 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 no. For all place or space is already occupied with a pure light of love, and thus the resulting experience is what? Peace.
No.
Peace on earth and goodwill to all mankind. And with that, I'd like to say Merry, 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 Merry Christmas to all of you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, yo.
Happy solstice. Happy holy days.
Happy holiday for you too. Thank you.
All
I got
right.
a few notes to share.
Yeah.
I wanted to make something cool, but it's like I don't want to be pushing myself to do things that it doesn't fit into my schedule. So, but some notes I took this morning when I was like super high on excitement. I was excited to get out of bed for the first time in a long time. So I was like, that's when I know I'm on the path, because I actually feel thrilled to wake up. Like usually I get up and like, oh, I'm a zombie. I feel like crap. But like, no, I feel like I'm excited to live today, you know? But I wrote down the power of ritual and ceremony. I've been doing breathing ritual and ceremonies now. That's my new thing. So that's how I empower myself. The importance of showing up for yourself first and foremost. Like we got to show up for ourselves. It's like how we nourish ourselves in the reality, and also redefining what doing the work is for you. It's an investment into the self, knowing what is most needed, and it's always changing. Yeah, that's. I gotta go chase Malik because he's running away again. But yeah, that's it.
I love it.
Anyways, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate
you.
just being here, chatting with some badass souls. You know.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Alfredo. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Lana. Share that you wrote in the chat. I would like
I
to
know.
have. I will
Say
read it in my
again.
bio tomorrow. If
Say
you want
again.
to share, if you want to share your note, I will write. I will read it in my fire
Okay.
tomorrow.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Have a great one, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Happy
everybody.
holiday.
Jen, look like you have something.
Well, I'll add to the ritual stuff or what we're doing for the solstice and for the holiday. I'm gonna light up like the walkway in my driveway and like my curb line with like the little white bags with the sand and the candle in them. Like a lot of my neighbors are doing that just to like light up the place and give warmth and show love. But of course the fire ceremony and the rituals and cooking for everybody to spread love. But I'm doing a lot more self-care to show myself love because I don't do that enough. Like I give of myself a lot, but I don't give to myself very much. So like luxurious salt baths and just lighting a candle because it smells good. And if I don't want to do chores and I want to sit and drink a cup of tea and stare out my sunroom door, then I'm going to do that. So
Yeah.
self-love I think is really important for me right now.
Yes.
You go, girl.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
Very-
cheers. Cheers
ho,
to
ho, ho,
prayers
ho.
of love, peace, harmony, joy, enlightenment, trust, truth, to all humans on the planet and also to Mother Earth. Thank
So
you.
be it.
So
be
it
it.
is.
So it is.
So much gratitude for all of you as well.
Thank you.
Love